Hey y'all, it's Alicia and welcome back to Alicia's Crafty Hoblob. Welcome to our 1K weekend. 1K weekend, thanks to each and every one of you. So first of all, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for all of your support. Thank you for cheerleading me when I try new things and, I take a die and convert it into a stencil and saying, yay, great idea. Thank you for being encouraging when I try new types of crafting. We know I'm not the best at clean crafting. It's just not in my nature, hence the name Crafty Hoplop. And you still encourage me, and I so appreciate it. And thanks to all the new subscribers. We want you to feel super welcome here on this channel. This is a channel where we're all about championing one another, trying to share our little crafty tips, and supporting one another and getting excited about each other's projects. I do have a few more ATCs to share with you today, and I'm excited for that. I know a couple of you are worried. I met a neighbor yesterday from the neighboring building, and we learned something. So she came over. She happens to be friends with one of the grandmas, and she came over and she asked to speak with me. And right now with our 27 feet of distance, I was like, oh no. Anyway, she's a very nice lady, and she had for me mail. Now, not a bunch, but they had been delivering, I guess the replacement carrier had been delivering some of my mail. This building used to be one building. It used to be 323 and 325. And they used to be one building. But remember I told you the landlord walked away and the people took it over? Well, then it became two buildings, 323 and 325. So the replacement carrier delivered some of my envelopes to her. She lives in 2B of the building next door. So she introduced herself, and of course all the grandmas know her because they watched her grow up here. And so I got those from her and I disinfected them because, not to be rude, but she wasn't wearing a mask or gloves, and I was like, ugh. So I brought it into the apartment. I have a little disinfecting area right when you come in my front door. It's probably like the craziest, dirtiest counter, because that's like, even though I disinfect it all the time, even though I clean it all the time, that's where I put everything that has to be cleaned, and then I put it on a box, and I followed the whole procedure. So I cleaned it, and then I disinfected it, and I put it away in a box to sit. So I won't open those probably until tomorrow, just for extra precaution, just again because she wasn't wearing a mask or gloves. But I did get a few entries, and I know like Tammy's been asking me, and Marilyn, folks, I some of them could have gotten lost. Remember we had a replacement carrier. I'm hoping not, but I'll let you know as soon as stuff comes in. I'll let you know. So that was my little update on that. And I thought I'd ask everybody today, because, I'm trying to reorganize my stuff and figure out how to store stuff I can't ship out. So I was thinking about it, like, how are you guys storing it? And then I also did what I call my weekly crafty cleanup. This isn't because of coronavirus. This is what I do anyway. So like every week I clean my paper cutter, I wash my die cutter and my die cutting plates, and I clean my scissors and I make sure there's no goopy on them. And I often sharpen them to make sure that they're super sharp using aluminum foil and all that stuff. Now, because of the virus, I did a little extra step. I did disinfect like the hand, like there's certain things I touch all the time, like the handle of my die cutter, my pokey tool. There's two types of stickles that I use a lot. My craft twinkles, all of that. I not only cleaned with like a disinfectant, but I also cleaned with alcohol, just because of what's going on with the virus. But normally I just clean it. But this is what I do every Sunday. Like that's part of my routine for getting ready for the week, is I prepare for school, I make a list of what I have to do, I plan my schedule, and I clean my craft supplies. So I was curious, what's your weekly routine with your craft supplies? Like, how do you make sure all of your tools stay in really good order? Because I figured maybe I'd learn something. So I sharpen my scissors, I wash my die cutting plates, I clean my die cutter, I clean my paper cutters, like the handles and the base, to make sure there's nothing left over. I always wash things like my die ink sponges and my brushes and stuff like that right away, so I don't need to do that. But this time I did extra clean my stickles, all my glue, my pokey tools, all of that stuff I cleaned really thoroughly. And I always sharpen my scissors. That's sort of my weekly routine for crafting. How do you keep your supplies in good shape? And do you ever clean out your bins? Like, I was thinking about it just because of the virus. There's no way I can do it and put all this away. But I was wondering, like, do you all, like, once a month take everything out of your craft drawers and clean them out? Is that what you do? What I did do was go through my scraps to make sure that I wasn't keeping paper I didn't need, because, I don't like to throw anything away. And also I went through that when I'm working on projects. Remember I told you I clear out that bin once a week, so I cleared that out. That's my crafty cleanup. What's yours? I'm just curious. It would be a fun video to know, how do you keep your craft stuff in great shape? Because we can learn from one another. We really can. And not because of the virus, just so that our craft supplies stay in really great order and that everything's always sharp and ready to be used. So let me know. Let me know. And I'll be back on later today. I have a different project share, even though it's a work day for me and not a fun craft day. It's an adulting day. But that's okay. I had a lot of fun this weekend. I hope whatever you're doing, I hope it involves crafting and people that you care much about. And I wish for you the happiest of Sundays, y'all. Happy Sunday. Bye for now.